Okay, good morning. So this morning's theme is love your neighbor. I was inspired to make this video after having lunch last week with one of my neighbors, my dear neighbors. And I'm making this video just to warm our spine, strengthen our spine a little bit, work on our balance, and throw in a couple of poses that actually will build bone or even halt bone loss in our hips and spine. So you can only love your neighbor as well as you take care of yourself. So that's the reason to do this practice, so that you can be your best self for other people around you. The other thing is that we cannot think ourselves into new ways of living. We have to live ourselves into new ways of thinking, and that comes right from my favorite contemporary theologian and writer, Richard Rohr. So we're going to live our way into more flexibility, more mobility, more balance, and I want to throw in one other thing. So as we age, natural processes like thinning bones happen, and sometimes we think back to when we could do other things. Again, you can't think your way into those qualities and the body that you want. You really have to move, stay moving, and keep going. So here we go. You might want to have some yoga blocks or a stack of hardback books and a necktie or a strap. For props, so gather your props and then come on back, and we're simply going to start by paying attention to our breath. So root your feet down, maybe wiggle your toes, and then press them into the floor. Make sure your chair is on a safe surface, so a carpet or a yoga mat, not a slippery floor. And don't do this in a chair with wheels. So close your eyes if you're comfortable and just listen to my voice. Simply inhale and exhale through your nose. Keep the shoulders relaxed and the crown of the head reaching up. The low belly gently supporting the spine. And feel that space around the bottom of your ribs, your diaphragm expanding on the inhales. Gently drawing down into your low belly, your core on the exhales. Just a couple more breaths. Remember that even just this easy, deep breathing is going to help us be our best for others. And then gently float your eyes open. We're going to move the spine in all directions. So if you know that you have spinal injuries, then remember you're your own best teacher and only do what doesn't cause intense pain. A little stretchy is okay. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my spine. So on an inhale, rest your hands on your thighs, draw your shoulder blades toward one another behind you, and lift your chest. On an exhale, you're going to curl your pelvis under like a bowl, and you might want to let your head and your shoulders drop. Only do what's right for you. We want to work more on opening the chest, so inhaling, lift. Let's stay here for a breath. Keep those feet rooted, and exhaling, soften, come back to neutral, or maybe hollow out the belly. And one more. And exhale, coming to neutral, or maybe hollowing out a little bit. Good. And inhale, come on back to center. So speaking of posture, I'm going to take your arms out to the side, kind of like cactus arms. And imagine that there's a tennis ball in between your shoulder blades behind your back. So this is really good for activating the muscles below the shoulder blades. It's going to help with shoulder pain. It's going to help with our posture. It's going to keep us from getting that rounded upper spine as we age. So imagine that tennis ball, and then isometrically, or just like activating the muscles in your back. Think about squeezing those tennis balls, that tennis ball together, and maybe your elbows come in a little bit. And hold. And inhale, just gently release. Try and keep your neck soft. Good. So as you exhale, squeeze those tennis balls, squeeze your shoulder blades together, Leave your elbows draw in a little bit. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Hold. And inhaling, gently release. One more time, squeeze those elbows together. Grab that tennis ball with your shoulder blades. And inhaling, gently release. Good. So just in case you built any tension, if it's safe for your neck, just drop your chin gently to your chest. Maybe move it around a little bit. So that's a great simple exercise for keeping our posture nice and tall. Then you're going to inhale, take one arm up over your head, hold on to the chair with the other, and as you exhale, gently fold straight to the side, keeping your shoulders level with the screen, so don't let the top shoulder come forward. Another breath here. Inhaling, get tall, and then exhaling, go to the other side. Always trying to make more space. Good. Inhaling, come on back up to center. Make sure your feet are still rooted down. You haven't let the knees flop open or fall inward. Everything nice and in a nice line on the railroad tracks. So then take your arms out to the side again and rest your index fingers on those little bones at the base of your skull, those occipital bones. Maybe just give them a little bit of massage. So putting pressure on these bones is actually great for migraines. It's good for relieving stress. So draw your elbows back. And this is a safe way to do twists. So coming forward on your chair a little bit. If you're only using muscle energy to do twists, it's unlikely that you're going to injure your spine. It's when we start to use leverage, like grabbing onto a chair or something like that, that you might go further than is safe for you. So draw your elbows back, and as you inhale, just twist as far as you can to one side. Inhale, get tall again. Exhale, see if you can use the muscles in your spine to deepen the twist. This is also great for your bones, your bone strength. If you're doing it specifically to strengthen your bones, you need to hold the pose for about 30 seconds. So take one more inhale, get really tall, and exhale, gently release. Take your arms up to the sky just for a moment. Good. Exhaling, come on back, draw your elbows back, and we'll go to the other side. So inhale, get tall, and exhale, twist from the waist. Keep those elbows drawn back, feet rooted. Nice. You're doing great. You showed up. It's the most important thing. One more deep inhale. And exhaling, gently release. Great. So we've moved our spine in all 6 directions. We've arched a little bit, we've folded a little bit, we've twisted, and we've gone side to side. I'm going to show you some poses to help with your posture. So one of them is very subtle, so you want to take a pillow or a towel or a stack of books or something that you can put in between your knees. Yoga block. Again, your feet rooted. You can just rest your hands by your side or on your thighs. And we're going to work on strengthening our inner thighs. So if you sit and your knees tend to flop open a lot, you probably need to work on strengthening those inner thigh muscles and keeping the hamstrings long. So we're going to squeeze. Pull your low belly in, keep your feet rooted, and squeeze the block. Just keep squeezing. Keep the breath nice and easy and the gaze steady. Keep your toes soft, your jaw soft. Posture nice and tall. Squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, squeeze a little harder, 3, 2, and 1, and gently release. That's great, great, great for your core strength, your balance, your posture. One of the other things we want to do is keep our hamstrings long, right? So if you're really flexible, you can stretch one leg out and just go ahead and grab your foot. I'm going to turn sideways again. What you don't want to do is round your spine, because then you're really just putting pressure on your low back. You want to keep your spine really straight like a board and only go as far as you can to make that happen. So we'll take the tie or strap or whatever you've got. Hand towel, right? Make sure you're nice and stable on your chair wherever you are. And start to walk your hands toward your foot. Keep on breathing. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. Keep using your low belly to support your spine. You can be facing just face forward. It's easier if you're on your chair with both hips. Good. So holding on to wherever you could get your legs straight. Try and keep your leg completely straight. Go into your fold and then see if you can twist. You might feel it in that outer IT band. Get that nice and long. You're twisting toward the extended leg. Nice. And gently release. So we'll go to the other side. Remember, keep your spine long, so if you only go forward 1/4 of an inch today, that's okay. It's a journey. It's a practice, right? So we fold forward. Take 5 deep breaths. Just remember, you're doing all this so that you can be your best for other people. Nice, so stay where you can keep your legs straight, and then rotate toward that extended leg so you can get a little stretch in that outside of the knee area, maybe the hip areas where you feel it. Maybe check in and make sure you didn't let that opposite leg flop open, keeping things on the railroad tracks. Inhaling, gently release. Good. So then we're going to do a warrior pose in our chair. So when you're working this pose, make sure that if you lean, you're leaning towards the back of your chair so you don't fall out of the chair. So you're going to turn sideways and have the toes of the leg closest to the back of the chair pointing straight out. So you're basically on one hip. And you're going to take the other leg out behind you and turn your hips back towards your screen. So if you drew a line, you'd have a line, straight line from your heel to the inside of your arch. Okay, so if you can't get there yet, that's okay. If your knee needs to stay a little bit bent, just try not to let the knee fold forward like that, fold inward. You want to keep your foot planted on the ground, right? So get where you can. You're going to feel this in your hips. So if you want a little bit more challenge, you can take that block or stack of books and you're going to flex your hip more by staying in the chair, but putting your foot on the block. So if you're nice and stable, if you can take your arms out and gaze over the fingertips of the bent leg side. Squeeze your arm muscles onto the bones. Root your feet into whatever surface they're on. Shouldn't be any pain anywhere, right? Just a little stretchy feeling. You're drawing both knees toward the back side of the body, so we're not letting ourselves fold in. Take one more deep breath. And exhaling, gently release. Nice. So great for our pelvis, lower spine, femur, which is the places where most fractures from bone loss happen. So there's the other side. Maybe you start with your foot on the ground. Maybe you want to put it on the block. So turn your knee down toward the floor as you take your leg back, and then take your hips back around to face the screen. So keep the knees lifted wherever you can go. You're going to feel it in your pelvis here, right? Good. So if you're nice and stable, take your arms out to the side, and again, squeeze the muscles onto the bones. So we're using lots and lots of energy here, getting nice and strong. So don't be discouraged if the pose isn't how you want it to look today. Try again tomorrow. And if you keep doing this every day, I promise you'll see some progress. And exhaling, gently release. So one more thing we're going to do is a one-legged balance. All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit. Remember that the most important thing is to not fall. All right? Looks like I'm going to have to adjust the camera. So you want to be sure that your chair is on a safe surface. I'm just going to turn mine to the side. All right, so standing with your feet, knees, hips all in line. Shift your weight into one leg. Remember that you want to avoid falling. So make sure that you have a steady surface to hold on to. Maybe rest your hand on your thigh. It's going to remind you to give some energy out that leg. So you might want to think about letting go. So just pay attention to your inhale and your exhale. Right? So standing on one leg is much better for your bones than using your foot as a kickstand. So use that surface that's helping you balance and stay on one leg. Keep practicing, and eventually you'll see some improvement. So do the same thing on the other side. Rest the hand on the thigh. Trust that you're building strength, balance, stability. Working on those nerves in the feet. Maybe let go. So rest your gaze in one place that's not moving. That'll help you balance. Fantastic. Do that a couple of times a day. You'll see some improvement, I promise. So before we finish, I want to show you just one more thing. Some ways to keep the nerves in your feet healthy. You really need to just have your feet on a flat surface. We're going to stretch them two ways. So you stay facing front. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my foot. You just push into the big toes, stretching the arch. Keep the ankle, the big toe, the knee all in line. Seems to be the themes for the day, right? Stay on track so you can take care of your neighbors. And then flip the top of the foot. Keep it like a ballerina stretch. So it's really good if you're able to do it safely to go barefoot as much as you can. So even if you're sitting and watching television, that's a safe place where you can just put your feet on the ground. You know you're not going to run into anything. Work on just getting your feet in contact with the floor. Let's go to the other side. Get that nice stretch in the ankle. It's also good for arthritis in your toes. You want to keep that range of motion. And flip. Slowly and gently. And again, take a moment. Just feel those feet rooted on the ground. So we'll just finish up, right? A little bit like the headless yogi, but that's okay, right? You don't need to see my head. So as you inhale, just rest your hands on your thighs again, maybe close your eyes. And follow your breath. Maybe with a breath of gratitude for this body, however it is today, that it carried you through this time. And then on an inhale, take your arms to the sky, put your palms together and then bring them together in front of your heart. On your next inhale, get tall, close your eyes, exhale, bow your head to your own heart with a pat on the back, a mental pat on the back for showing up. And remember that we cannot think our way into new ways of living. We need to live our way into new ways of thinking. Do this every day, and you will begin to think that you are strong and flexible and stable. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste.